Hey everyone, Ashley here. Welcome to Ashley Talks Movies. So today I'm going to be doing a review of The Woman King. The film is directed by Gina Prince-Bythewood, probably best known for directing Love and Basketball. One of her recent credits includes The Old Guard for Netflix. So set in the 1800s in the African Kingdom of Dahomey, The Woman King follows the Agojie, a group of the kingdom's elite women warriors led by General Naniska, played by Viola Davis. The warriors must protect their kingdom from their enemies who threaten their way of life. Now, before I get into the review, a few things. If you like this channel and you like the videos I'm posting, please consider subscribing to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Also hit that notification button so you don't miss any of the videos I'm posting. Okay, time for the review. The Woman King is a fictional account of real people and real events. Now, there's been some controversy surrounding this film in terms of the historical inaccuracies with the story, but I'll get to that a little bit later in the review. For now, what I will say is that The Woman King is a very well-made film. In fact, it's a very good film. And part of the reason it's really good is because of the amazing performances from the amazing cast. The cast is led by Viola Davis, who is a fantastic actor. That's not a surprise. And the role that she's playing is a very layered role. Her character has to be tough, but she's also very vulnerable. And I won't get into how she's vulnerable because that's a spoiler in the film. But she also has to be very vulnerable. And Viola Davis is able to do such an amazing job switching between those two dualities there. You know, I honestly couldn't imagine any other actress playing this role because Viola Davis is just so good with how she captures this character. I also want to mention another actor in this movie who definitely should be getting some recognition when everyone starts talking about the discussion around this movie in terms of the acting, and that is Thuso Mbedu, which I hope I didn't mispronounce her name too terribly. I'm not too familiar with this actor's work, but she's fantastic in The Woman King. And, you know, her character is a new recruit to this all-female warrior group, and so she comes in and she's trained by the other women in this group, and she's really just amazing, and she has a really good like screen presence, like very commanding screen presence. And so I hope that, you know, as I said before, as people are talking about the acting, they definitely don't overlook her because, you know, it's easy to say, oh, Viola Davis is so great in this movie. She is. But this actor is as well. So this movie's about female warriors. So of course there's action, and the movie does not disappoint in that department. The action sequences are shot very well. The fight scenes are choreographed very well. And what I really liked about this movie is that you can actually see what's going on. Too often in action movies, you know, you get these really tight close-up shots of the action scenes. Kind of makes it hard to see what's going on, but that's not the case here. So I really appreciated that. You really get to kind of see the physicality in these fighting sequences, which I really appreciate. What I also like is the portrayal of these female warriors in the fighting sequences with some of these big male opponents. What I love is that this movie is able to show how these female warriors could outmatch some of these bigger men in these fights. Yeah, they might not be stronger than them, but they're able to defeat them or beat them with certain weapons that they use or certain fighting techniques that they use, right? And so I really liked that portrayal as well. Visually, this movie is stunning. I mean, this movie has a lot of vibrant colors, and that's seen through the landscape. It's seen through the set design when you're in the kingdom of Dahomey, and even in the palace, the costuming. Everything is so vibrant. Now, I mentioned this earlier in my review about the controversy surrounding the film, so I'm going to address that now. So there's been calls on social media for people to boycott this film. A lot of people have been saying that this movie is historically inaccurate and that this movie does not address the role that the Dahomey people played in the slave trade. And so a couple things. One, it's a fictionalized account of these people, of these events. So it does take a lot of creative liberties with the storytelling, as many Hollywood movies do when you're talking about like historical figures, unless you're talking about a documentary, which this movie is not. Second, Yes, the Dahomey people were complicit in the slave trade. They did round up Africans for the slave trade. They profited from it. So that's not a secret. You can look it up. That's true. But the film does at least address that. Now, we can get into, whether or not the film does a great job of addressing just how much of a role the Dahomey people had in the slave trade. But as far as does the movie address it, it does. It's very much a part of one of the main plot points in this movie. In fact, I'm trying not to delve too much into spoilers, but Viola Davis's character, in fact, is the sort of voice of, and her character is fictional, I believe. Her character is sort of the voice of the dissent in terms of, the Dahomey people are involved in the slave trade, and she's kind of like, she's got the king's ear, and she's kind of saying like, we should be finding other ways to make money, to profit. We should not be selling our own or, selling Africans. We should not be involved in this. And so the movie uses that character as sort of like the way to kind of address that, and also kind of give sort of a modern spin to it. People who have issues with this movie in terms of being historically inaccurate, I get that, I understand it. But as far as like saying that it doesn't address it at all, like the Dahomey people's involvement with the slave trade, that would be inaccurate as well, because it does. Now, does it do a great job of it? That's open for discussion as well. If you are on the fence about whether or not to watch this movie, I will say, you got to make that decision for yourself. I'm always of the mind that I have to kind of judge things for myself. I'll read reviews of things and see responses to things, and it's like, oh, this is bad, this is great, this is not good. I have to watch it myself or experience myself or look into it myself and then make my own decisions around that. But again, I leave that up to all of you out there, whether or not you want to see this movie, and whether or not if it being historically accurate or not accurate is a bit of contention for you, and if that's the deciding factor in whether or not you watch this movie. So that's my review of The Woman King. If you've seen the movie and you want to share your thoughts about it, you can do so in the comment section below. While you're here, like this video, hit that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this.